Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Kay Turkey, and I am here to talk about different topics, different experiences that I went through personally that helped me go from survival, where I didn't believe in myself, where I thought I was too much, where I was just like kind of putting myself in prison and not allowing myself to do the things that I wanted to do, to becoming this expanded version of myself where I realize I'm the only one who can give myself permission to do the things that I want to do, and therefore give myself that permission. Not only myself, but also be the voice, the guide, and the inspiration to other women who are still out there looking for permission slip to do what they've always wanted to do. So today I want to talk about an experience that I had recently, an encounter with somebody. A friend of mine invited me to dinner, and she was leaving, so she wanted to do something small with her raw vegan community. So I joined as well. I met them before, so when I got there, I already knew some people, and there were some people that I didn't know. Anyways, we ate and connected. The plan was after dinner to go for ecstatic dance, which I wasn't up to. I was not feeling my best physically. So, yeah, I just joined them for dinner. Anyways, we finished eating and everybody was leaving. It was about 6 o'clock. They were all leaving, and yeah, I said I'm not coming. And then there were two new people that I didn't know. Most of them I knew, but these two I didn't know. So I was not very connected to them. And they also said they were not going. One was saying he had to do his music, and the other one was just gonna chill. So then, yeah, the rest of the group left, and we just stayed there for a bit longer, just finishing our food, desserts, and all, while we were like trying to connect. One of the guy, he said that he wanted to be a podcaster. That's something that he is working on. And to be honest, I believe that he's going to be an amazing podcaster because he asked me some questions that got me to a place in my mind that I've never been before, and just got me to look at things in a certain way, and ended up responding in a way that I didn't even realize. So it was like I was so relaxed. I was just feeling so safe because we started like peeling the layer very slowly. We just started like, okay, what are you doing? Where are you from? Tell me more about you. To like deep talking about, like, what we are scared of and what we have overcome and what we are struggling with. So we went quite deep, and I expressed my story. And then he asked me this question. And I can't remember exactly the words, the way he asked, but he just asked me, how did I feel with this new version of myself? Because I told my story, like, where I was, how I was living my life, to where I am and how I'm living and where I feel like I'm going. So he asked me, how do I feel in relation to like this new version of myself? That's in relation to this new version of myself that's here, to that old version of myself. Like, what's the feeling? What do I feel, and how did I feel then? And without even thinking, I think this was just like really me. What I answered was, I just feel like I've always been here. but I just didn't allow myself to be seen. I thought it was too wrong for me to be seen. So I kind of like hid myself somewhere, protected myself somewhere so that I don't get into trouble. And now I feel so good that I no longer need to hide that version. I can just openly be that version without the fear of like being hurt or being rejected or being too much or all these beliefs that once stopped me to bring this version of me out. So what I realize is I've not changed. I've not become anybody new. I've always been there since I could remember. I'm always this. It's just that I didn't allow myself to be this because it was too scary to be this, because no one around me was this. So it was too much. But I was always attracted towards people who were this in every single way, whether it was in school, whether it was in watching movies, whether it was in guests who came home. Like when I reflect back, everything just reminds me of how I've always been this version, but I just never felt safe to let this free. So what was coming up, the analogy was like, somebody asking you, like, let's just imagine you've always been, so we have two hands, right? And what you do is like you're being told, like, don't use left hand is bad, and nobody should have left hand. And you live in a place where you don't see anybody who has left hand. So what you do is like, okay, you're like, but I have a left hand, what do I do? So you spend the rest of your life hiding left hand every time you are with people. You're like, I have only right hand, da-da. But when you're by yourself, you have your left hand. So you know you have a left hand, but it only comes out when you are with yourself. When you're with people, it's like, I don't have left hand. And now somebody is asking, now you finally have the courage to say, you know what? I have left hand and I've just been hiding it. It's here. And now actually, I'm going to start practice using it. And whoa, I can actually use it. I can actually write. I can actually eat. I can actually do things with this hand as well. The only reason I thought I couldn't is because I've never practiced using it. And forget about practice, I've never let it be seen or allow anybody to know that I have it, or I have not allowed myself to just let people know that I have it. So now somebody is asking you, oh, how do you feel? Finally, you have a left hand. And I'm like, I always had it. It was always there, guys. It's just that I was not allowing people, or I was not allowing myself to be seen with it. I was hiding it because I felt like it's a bad part. It's not something that belongs where I am. Nobody had left hand. So how dare me go around with left hand? So I hid my left hand too. But now it's like, I don't care if people have it or not. I have it. And I'm not going to live my entire life trying to hide a part of me that belongs to me. Like, there's a reason I have this left hand. If I didn't need it, it wouldn't be there. So there's a reason that I am the way I am in a place where people are not like this. Maybe they don't dress like this. They don't think like this. They don't speak like this. But I do. It was just like I was so scared to do that because I felt like nobody was doing. Forgetting that sometimes you are gifted with things not because everybody else is doing, but for you to become the person who changes how people behave. Like, we're not here to just be one way, to just be, this is how it is for a generation. Like, we are here to evolve. We are here to think differently, to be different, to just exist in a way that resonates and aligns with us, and not in a way that is accepted. But most of us grew up believing that I must fit in. I must be like everybody else. If nobody has left hand, so I must hide my left hand. Otherwise, I won't belong in this community, forgetting that there is a whole community out there of people with both hands. And all you need to do is just show your hands. And yes, most likely you might be rejected from this community who don't have left hand, but you might be accepted in another community that has left hand, that are proudly using their left hand. Not only that, you might actually make people realize maybe there's a lot of other people in your community that have left hand. Maybe all of them have left hands, but they're just not using it because they also feel what you felt. They did not allow themselves to use their own left hands or whatever part of themselves that they thought is not gonna be accepted where they are. So this goes back to the metaphor of a butterfly. A lot of us are so stuck in our caterpillar form. We're so scared to be alone. We're so scared to just be rejected and no longer be part of the caterpillar community, not knowing that the journey of a caterpillar is not to stay a caterpillar forever. We are here to become butterflies. We are here to fly. We are here to spread beauty, joy, freedom, to experience freedom of flying instead of being stuck in one place. But to get to that, we need to go through transformation. We need to be alone. We need to be in the darkness where the transformation happens. If you look into butterfly journey, caterpillar journey, when the body is in the darkness, when the caterpillar is in the darkness, what happens is everything changed. It's kind of like the caterpillar has to experience death. It can no longer be who it used to be. It cannot go back to being a caterpillar. It can't. It has to transform what it has. There's a liquid that comes out that melts the legs and all that in order for it to form wings, to have only few limbs now instead of the way caterpillar is. It's like a completely different shape, a completely different way of being and showing up in the world. But it doesn't just go from, hi, I'm a caterpillar, oh, I'm a butterfly. It has to go through the unknown, the darkness, the waiting, the discomfort of transformation. And this is what we are all scared of. We all have this fear of, if I show up as different, I will be rejected. I will be seen as bad. And this does not come from our adult mind. This is our child mind that learned all that because we've all been taught that as kids. And it's a pattern. And it's going to continue running our lives until we decide that I no longer want to repeat this pattern. I no longer want to let fear, doubt, shame, guilt run my life or control my life. None of us are born with shame. Shame is not part of us. Shame is something that was taught to us. Nobody, literally nobody has been born with shame. We are taught to feel shame. So if we can learn it, if we can let something control our life, make us behave in a way that we don't want to behave, we can unlearn it. We can stop letting that part control our life. We can feel the shame. Hey, shame, I know you. You don't belong here. I know you're here to control me. You are here to make me behave certain way, but I no longer want to behave that way. I want to behave the way I want to behave. So I see you. I know why you are here, but I'm no longer letting you control my life. I'm going to live my life the way I want. I feel you. I see you. I know your purpose, but I'm not letting you in control of my vehicle. I'm in charge. This is my life, and I'm not allowing something that I was not born with to direct where I'm heading. This is my life, and I am going to direct it the way I want, with my parts, the ones I was born with, the ones that you are here to tell me I shouldn't use. Because that's what shame is there for. Shame is there to tell us that you cannot talk about your sexuality. You cannot go towards your pleasure. As a woman, you cannot dress like that. As a man, you cannot treat somebody like that. But if that's who I am, if this is what feels right to me, then I need to let shame tell me whatever it has learned to tell me. Because again, that's not our emotion. That's not who we are. That's something that has been conditioned to us so that we can be good according to where we come from. But most of the time, the desire of wanting to be good and letting this shame control us is what is disconnecting us from ourselves. Because we have all these desires. We want to show up differently. We are curious beings. We want to grow. And sometimes the path towards where we want to head is restricted by these parts that we learned to have. It's like these security that we've been given. We've been conditioned to believe that we have. And it's not like those people who told us from childhood, don't do this, don't do that, are with us. No, they do their job at a very young age. 0 to 6 is the only time you need to be conditioned, to be told what's good, what's bad, what's right, what's wrong. And then you do that to yourself for the rest of your life until you decide that I no longer want to follow a pattern that a 6-year-old learned. I want to be an adult who decides what's right for me right now at this age. That is when you start to go towards becoming a butterfly and no longer stay a caterpillar. That is when you are going to feel the discomfort, the shame, the fear, the guilt, because those emotions, our body associated them with pain, associated them with rejection, associated them with being alone, not being loved. So we don't want to feel them. Every time we do something and shame shows up, our body goes like, nah, we can't do that because we'll get in trouble. We did get in trouble when we were kids. Yes, you might get in trouble, but you're not a child anymore to fear the consequences. Part of growing up, part of healing is to be able to stand with yourself despite the hardship that you might face. To know that I might fall, but I know I'm gonna stand up stronger. To know that a part of me is going to die here, but it's okay. That's the only way I can birth a new part in me. Allowing yourself to let go of who you think you should be and allow to be who you are or who you've always been. Remove yourself from this cage. Like I said, I felt like I've always just caged myself somewhere and not allowed anybody to see that version of me. So I knew I had that, but it was in secret. So when you finally feel like, I don't care if this part of me that I have imprisoned gets seen, and I don't care if people start shaming me, if people reject me, by me owning this version, I'm just finally no longer going to be in prison, no longer going to allow any part of me be in my own prison. That's when you're going to experience freedom. And it's just an amazing feeling, because that's when you're going to feel like, oh my God, so I can do anything. I can just be whoever I want to be. I'm no longer a child. It's a realization that needs to be experienced in our nervous system. We cannot just think. You will go, you'll read a book, you will understand. I've done that for so many years. I read, I go here. It's like we love this idea of, oh, let me go learn how to do it. This is our mind playing trick with us. It's telling us, no, wait, don't do it. Let's go read a book that will tell us how to do it. And then here we go find a book today, and it's like, yeah, oh my God, yes, this is it. And then somebody else tells us, no, there's another book that actually talks about this even in a better way. And you're out there like, oh my God, you're right. Okay, I'm going to go read that book. So you're always on this ladder trying to go find the best way to be somewhere, instead of just taking the action. Just do it. Don't go learn about it. Just do it. That's the only way. It's all about practice. It's all about choosing to create a new pattern, instead of like being stuck in the same old pattern of learning, of accumulating knowledge. Who did what? Who did this? Like, I used to read so many books. And the more I read, it's like, yeah, I know more. And yes, we know more. But how much of it did I practice? How much of it was I embodying? Was I actually living? Was I letting it change my life? None. How much of it I allowed to help me release this version of me that was caged within me? None. The only time I did that is when I started practicing, is when I started focusing on just one thing and let that become a part of me. Repeat that until I could not forget it. That's where change happens. So it's not just imagine caterpillar going there, oh, this is how I need to be a butterfly. This is how, no, not this way. Just come here. This is the way you can be a butterfly. It's going to go around and around while it's time to be a butterfly is just passing. You're going to be a butterfly the way you are designed. Nobody goes in nature. Nobody goes out there to read how to become themselves. Like, listen to yourself. Yes, there is time for learning, but let that learning help you get somewhere. Don't just learn and be stuck where you are. That means whatever it is that you learned, it has not helped. To know that whatever it is that you read, you watched is helping you is to see your behavior. Are you behaving differently after reading whatever it is that you read? Are you behaving differently after watching whatever it is that you watched? Or you just watched it, you forgot, and then now you're watching something else. You read a book, you forgot, now you're reading something else. If whatever it is that you read, watched, heard has not changed your life, it has not worked for you. It's just information. We all have so much information. I remember a few years ago, you would come to me, I would give you all the best information on how to lose weight. But I did not lose any. Or maybe I did, but then I gained. So even if somebody followed what I taught, they would never be able to maintain it. because I never maintained my weight. I didn't know how to maintain. Yes, it was so easy for me to lose. I could just say, in 2, 3 months, I want to lose. I have a number and I put all my effort and I reach my goal. Of course, I reach my goal, but I never sustain it because I have this pressure on myself. Like, I need to get there at a certain time. And that is not how change works. Change doesn't work. You cannot have a seed and say, oh, here is the seed. So I'm going to put here, I'm going to put water. And in 3 months, I want the tree to be here. I want it to have 4 fruits. I want it to have 90 leaves. I want it to have yellow leaves. You can't do that. That's not in your control. And if you do, that's not what that seed is there to do. You modified how it's naturally wanted to be and made it how you wanted it to be. The best thing you can do is just commit every day to create the best environment for that seed to grow. And this is going to be a lifetime practice. In every moment, what you need to do is know that you are doing the best you can. You are working on watering that seed every single day. It's not a goal that I'm going to water this seed for 2 months. No. I'm going to water this seed every day. I'm going to make sure every day the seed gets the right environment, the care, the attention that it needs, and just allow it to be the way it's here to be. It doesn't matter how long it takes to become a tree that it's supposed to be. I'm not going to force it. This is why a lot of our food right now is missing nutrition. Because we want the tree to grow so fast. We want to control the outcome. We want it to be in certain way. We want the fruits to be certain way. So we are controlling everything. And that's why we're not getting the best out of whatever it is that we are planting. To get the best, we need to let the plant grow organically. We need to just focus on today. Put your effort. Don't have a goal of, I want my tree to be a certain size by a certain day, to have certain fruit by a certain day. That is controlling. When we control nature, when we control growth, we limit its potential. We're just focusing on something that we know. When we just put our effort, the best that we can, just in the now, because the now is the only thing that exists. So when we just do our best in the now, every single time in the now, just focus in the now. When we just focus in the now, we're going to have the results. And usually they're going to be better than what we expected. Because just like a tree, you're going to say, oh, I want my tree to be certain way. That means you already have imagined how you want to be your tree. Maybe it's something that you saw. But if you don't, you might be surprised. It might become a tree that you've never imagined, the size you've never imagined, the amount of fruits that you've never imagined. You just focus on nurturing it, on just giving it what it needs and not on what it should become. That's not what you need to do. That's not for you. That's God's job. Let God do its job. You do what you need to do, which is just give it what it needs in the now. Whether it's your plant, whether it's your body, whether it's your job, whether it's your kids, just focus on nurturing and giving what it needs in the now. So yeah, this is what came up today. Really, it's about This moment. What do you need in this moment? What does your job, your business, your child, whatever it is, need in this moment? Be honest with yourself. Like in this moment, what can help you feel better? Which part of you are restricting in this moment? Forget about future. Just right now, feel into it. How do you want to show up? Like if there was no restriction, there's nobody judging you, there's nobody saying anything, you could be whatever the fuck you want to be, do whatever the hell you want to do, be whatever you want to be. Where would you be? Who would you be? What would you be doing? This is your truth. And what you can do right now to feel that, to be in that, to take action towards that, to stop repeating the pattern of where you've always been and go towards that butterfly journey. And all it takes is one step at a time. It takes years. It took you years to be where you are. If this is where you want to continue going, if this is how you want to continue to be and feel, then keep on going. You don't need to start changing your pattern. But if you feel somewhere that, no, I'm not being myself, there is a version of me that I'm trying to hide, that I'm trying to kind of like, tone down. I'm trying to please others. I'm not being myself. I'm scared of my aggressiveness. Then it's about time that you become honest with yourself and start showing up as you. And the best way you can do this is being in an environment that will accept this new version of you, or not new version, this version of you that you've been hiding. So if we go to the analogy of our left hand, you will feel much more comfortable and safe to be in places where people are showing their left hands, for you to start creating a pattern of letting your left hand loose, letting your left hand be seen. Because if you do that in a place where you were taught to hide your left hand, you're not going to feel safe. You're always going to be like, oh my God, something's going to happen, because it did before. So your nervous system is not going to be relaxed. The best way you can do to let these parts of you that you have been hiding out is to surround yourself with people who will not judge you, shame you, or criticize you by doing so. I like this quote that says, you can never heal in places that made you sick. If you're in a place which made you hide your left hand, learning to release that hand can be quite challenging. And this is where our community comes in. The women's circle, the breathwork circle, where we do breathwork and integration. It's a group of women who just want to be seen, who are done hiding, who are done pretending, but are also too scared to be themselves where they are at. And they can't just leave. So this is where we created a community where women can just take some time out for themselves to surround themselves with other people who are showing up vulnerably, who are finally ready to be seen in the way that nobody has ever seen them before, except themselves. And that trains their nervous system, their body, to feel safe, to finally be seen as themselves, with the parts of themselves that have always been rejected, not only by their caretaker, but by themselves. Because as adults, you're not here to seek permission from anyone else. As adults, we are here to give ourselves permission. And this needs to be learned, just like everything. It's a skill, it's a repetition. It's something that we need to keep doing until we feel like, all right, now I can use my left hand. Now I can be seen as me. Now I feel safe. So now I can also start going in the places where I was rejected as this, because now I trust myself. So we need to start building this trust. And we can only do so in a place where we feel safe to be seen fully as our messy, rejected version of ourselves. So if this resonates with you, and if you feel like, you know what, I'm ready to start living life as who I am, to stop living in a prison that I'm not even the one who created it, but it's there and I don't know how to come out of, then this is for you. I've created a women's circle. I've got a breathwork, group breathwork journeys as well, where we come together, we share, we witness each other, but also we show each other. Because nobody can see you unless you start showing up. And you will never show up in places that taught you to hide. You need to put yourself in new places where you feel safe enough to be seen. And that is when you will start feeling like people are finally seeing you as you, not as a version of you pretended to be, to feel like you belong somewhere. So thank you so much for watching this, and I hope to see you in our community. If this resonated with you, feel free to leave a comment, to like, to share with somebody that you feel also that needs this. And if you're interested in experiencing our community, then I've got the link down below. You can click that, and I will see you inside the circle. Namaste.